Hey guys, blessings. Welcome to today's daily devotional for law enforcement officers. Today's read was out of 2 Samuel chapters 15, 16, and 17. And like always, I hope you got a chance to read these. Um, Please make sure you look ahead and read so that when we get to these, 3 to 4 minute videos, you know exactly where we are. Um, Today's read was really interesting. David is fleeing Jerusalem because Absalom has staged this very successful coup, and David is fleeing with a lot of people. But what struck me was all the people he meets on the road as he's leaving Jerusalem. In 1516, David takes his whole household, so all his family's on the road with him. In 1517, all the people of Jerusalem, the town just kind of emptied and followed David. So they're on the road with him. Then in 1518, we see the Cherethites and the Pelethites, who are not Israelites, obviously, but they are David's bodyguards. And they are always, their chief is Benaiah, who is one of my favorite characters, and we'll see him. We see him off and on through First and Second Samuel, but Benaiah's with David, which would really comfort me because he's like one of the greatest warriors Israel ever had outside of David himself. Um, then the Gittites with King Attila, who had just come the day before, and David was like, "Look, man, you came at a really bad time. You don't want to be a part of this." But Attila says, "No, my loyalty lies with you," and so he stays with David. So just all these cool things of all these people who are on the road with David. Then we see Zadok, the Levites, and the Levites who are bringing the ark of God to come with David. And David says, no, the ark really doesn't need to be brought outside of Jerusalem. Go back and stay with the ark until this is all done with. Abiathar is with him, who's also David's priest. Abiathar's two sons, um, Ahimaaz and Jonathan, who come into play as couriers later because he'll send some spies into the castle that bring news back and forth to David. There's also uh, Hushai, who's a real good friend of David, who plays an instrumental part of getting David back into the kingdom. But then we see this guy, Ziba, who is Mephibosheth's servant. And he brings all these provisions, and it's real confusing, but he's there on the road with David. And it makes you wonder why they even mention him, because you've got all these kings and all these really important folks, um, priests, Levites, and then you've got Ziba who shows up. After him comes Shimei, and this is the character that really aggravates me out of the whole group. Shimei cusses at David and he throws rocks at him and stones, to the point where Abishai, one of David's generals, says, "Hey, let me go cut his head off. I'm tired of this. He's throwing rocks." And David says, "No." And this is the point of the story. David starts looking at everything through a set of spiritual eyes. He's not looking at the physical things around him. He's looking to see if God's got a message. Why is all this happening? This isn't just coincidence or circumstance. David's looking for a message from God. David realizes there's some discipline involved here. What's God trying to tell me in the midst of all this storm and all these bad things that are happening? So he looks, and in 16:10, David says, um, well, I don't have the actual quote here, but David basically says, look, God may have sent this guy to send a message of discipline to me, so we're not going to kill him. We're going to let him speak the things that he needs to speak, which, man, he really holds back from just a fleshy response of, yeah, go take that guy out. So I love the thought of David, and I hope that translates to us as we go into bad situations, that we'll start looking around, not just at the physical things. We do need to have a heightened sense of awareness and keep safe, but also look and see if there's a spiritual message involved in the situations that we get into. That's today's takeaway. Be blessed. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, go ahead and read up on 2 Samuel chapters 18 and 19. So be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.